What if the mystique surrounding Hollywood's most iconic female figures wasn't mere coincidence, but the result of personal choices, image building, and rumors passed down through generations? For decades, names like Greta Garbo and Marlene Dietrich have kept the public curious about the fine line between their real selves and their on-screen personas. In a world where fame is inextricably linked to image, even discretion and independent lifestyles can become subjects of discussion. In this video, you'll explore how truth, anecdotal evidence, and the rigid standards of early Hollywood contributed to these legends, and why their stories remain so influential today. Stay tuned until the end to revisit some less discussed aspects. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to show your support, and share your thoughts in the comments about the character that surprised you the most. April Ashley emerged from the challenging years in Liverpool to the dazzling lights of Paris, gradually establishing herself in the fashion world and British high society with an almost unbelievable journey. After surgery in Casablanca in 1960, she appeared elegant and captivating, as if not only had she transformed herself, but had opened a whole new chapter in her life where she could live true to herself. In that moment, everything seemed perfect. However, an unexpected turning point occurred. Having performed at Le Carrousel de Paris before becoming a model and appearing in Vogue UK, Ashley suddenly became the focus of media attention in 1961 when her past was exposed. The articles at the time were not simply informative, but often judgmental, turning her once-admired elegant image into a controversial topic. The image of a sophisticated lady in magazines contrasts sharply with how she was portrayed in the press and in court. Her marriage to Arthur Corbett ended in the infamous Corbett versus Corbett case, when the court legally denied her paternity. This ruling had a profound impact on the rights of transgender people in the UK for many years afterward. Ashley lost numerous career opportunities, privacy, and even freedom in public life. However, she did not give up. Over time, society changed, and she returned to the UK, receiving the MBE in 2012 as recognition for her contributions. April Ashley's story is not only a journey of overcoming adversity, but also a symbol of unwavering willpower and self-respect, maintaining dignity even in the face of the harshest challenges. Candy Darling didn't just admire classic Hollywood, she almost revered it as an ideal. From her demeanor and voice to her every gesture, she distilled the delicate beauty and emotional allure of the stars of yesteryear, then meticulously recreated herself to the point where she seemed to transcend the image of an ordinary person, becoming a glittering dream in Manhattan at night. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, she became one of the prominent faces in Andy Warhol's art world, appearing in films such as Flesh and Women in Revolt. It was this very mystery that gave Candy her unique appeal. As a transgender woman, she didn't want to be confined to any definition. What she pursued was beauty, radiance, and a captivating presence that drew attention before anyone could question it. Every detail in her image is meticulously crafted, from her classic Hollywood style and conversational style to her public appearances and captivating photo shoots. She lives as if preparing for a role bigger than any stage she's ever stepped onto. However, behind that glamour lies a harsh reality. Candy existed in an era where society often focused on differences rather than the true person behind them. Despite being embraced by the art community, she faced numerous obstacles when entering the mainstream. Even when recognized in music and becoming an inspiration to many artists, she still confronted prejudices and strict limitations. This is what makes Candy Darling's story so special. She transformed herself, her image, and her expression into an art form, leaving a profound mark that transcends time. Barbara Stanwyck didn't enter Hollywood with ease or hesitation. She went straight in with rare confidence and decisiveness. On screen, she brought a sharp, realistic energy and almost no need for any stereotypes to express femininity. Whether embodying working-class women, scheming characters, or deeply introspective yet repressed roles, she always exuded a natural strength that was both authentic and irreplaceable. This is what created her unique acting style: calm, precise, and profound. However, it was precisely this strong personality that made her the subject of much ongoing speculation. There is no concrete evidence to support the speculation surrounding Stanwyck beyond what the public already knows. Much of the mystery surrounding her stems from her private personal life, her serious public image, and unverified stories about her personal relationships. Even cultural researchers often view it as speculation rather than fact. Stanwyck possessed a unique charm. Her clear voice, tightly controlled gestures, and ability to restrain her emotions set her apart from her contemporaries. In the Hollywood landscape of the time, these characteristics were sometimes misinterpreted as differentiation, making her both admired and the subject of questions. Her private life only added to her unpredictability, making her image even more special in the public eye. In an era where difference was often constrained by rigid norms, a star who didn't perfectly fit the mold was more scrutinized than understood. And that's why Barbara Stanwyck's legacy remains influential, not because of speculation, but because she proved that a woman's strength and individuality could transcend established boundaries. Coccinelle entered post-war European nightlife as an unforgettable figure. Her radiant blonde hair, captivating stage presence, and confident demeanor. She quickly became a star on prestigious Parisian cabaret stages like Madame Arthur, where performance art blended with self-expression. By 1958, following surgery in Casablanca, her story transcended the spotlight, spreading to the public and establishing her as an international icon of rebirth, beauty, and unique allure. What truly defined Coccinelle was the combination of striking looks and powerful presence. Unlike stories often kept private, her journey unfolded openly, attracting widespread attention. The media constantly mentioned her, audiences gave her enthusiastic applause, and many saw her as proof that femininity could be defined in new and admirable ways. She didn't just exist, she was seen, recognized, and became the center of public attention. That fame also brought with it considerable speculation and debate, not only surrounding her, but also extending to others in the entertainment industry. However, amidst the curiosity and admiration, she still faced the harsh prejudices of society at the time. Nevertheless, Coccinelle's influence extended beyond mere fame. She contributed to significant changes in the awareness and rights of the transgender community in France, opening up necessary dialogues about identity and presence in society. Therefore, her story is not just a personal journey, but also a symbol of change and unwavering determination. If you find this content engaging, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to discover more fascinating stories. Katharine Hepburn never needed gentleness to assert her position. She appeared on screen with distinct facial features, sharp eyes, and a distinctly New England accent. Intelligent, straightforward, and powerful. In a Hollywood landscape that still associated femininity with softness, flowing dresses, and submissive stereotypes, Hepburn defined a completely different standard: independence, strength, and assertiveness. This difference made her one of the greatest icons of classic cinema, and also led to decades of speculation surrounding her. However, it's important to emphasize that there is no concrete evidence to deny the person she publicly portrayed. Much of the stories surrounding her reflect a cultural environment that often sought to interpret independence within more familiar stereotypes. Her distinctive fashion style, her frequent wearing of trousers, and her unconventional attitude towards traditional female roles made her the subject of much speculation. From the 1930s onwards, Hepburn's life was scrutinized from many categorical perspectives. Her image at the time generated considerable controversy. Journalists and biographers later recalled discussions about her private life and identity, but these were largely subjective rather than based on clear facts. Hepburn was a tall, confident woman who maintained her independence without relying on male validation. In an industry that expected actresses to please the public, she stood out for her almost absolute independence. The trousers, therefore, became more than just clothing. They became a symbol of her rebellious spirit in the eyes of the audience. Her defiance of traditional norms once made her image seem uncontrollable to film studios. Yet it was precisely this defiance that allowed the legend of Hepburn to endure, not because of rumors, but because she proved that a woman's independence could become a force powerful enough to command the attention of an entire system. Christine Jorgensen entered the American public consciousness as a surprising milestone, distinctive, unique, and unmissable. After serving in the U.S. military, she went to Denmark and returned in 1952 with a new appearance following hormone therapy and surgery, becoming one of the first transgender women to gain widespread recognition in America. Immediately, the media reacted with sensational headlines and widespread attention across the nation. For many, her story was like a door opened, revealing previously unmentioned aspects. What truly captivated Christine was not just her transformation, but the way her private life was brought to public attention. A personal letter to her family was leaked and quickly became front-page news. In a short time, her personal life became a topic of national interest. The image of a calm, confident woman sharing her story has led many to wonder, if Christine could live authentically, how many others are silently carrying similar stories within them? In the early 1950s, when understanding of gender identity was still limited, Christine received both significant attention and considerable debate. However, she did not choose to withdraw. She gave speeches, performed, wrote books, and transformed her own experiences into a journey of raising social awareness. Therefore, her legacy extends beyond a personal story, contributing to new dialogues about identity, presence, and how people are perceived in society. Marlene Dietrich quickly realized something not every star understands. Ambiguity can be constructed and controlled as part of a personal image. She appeared with sharp cheekbones, a lingering smoky aura, a sharp intellect, and an unforgettable deep voice. But behind that captivating exterior was a strong personality, sometimes making those around her pause in contemplation. She wore tailored suits, trousers, tuxedos, or shirts naturally, as if it were an inherent part of her, not a deliberate act of defiance. She donned hats and coats with absolute confidence, transforming her attire into a statement rather than just an outer shell. This created a unique allure, making her bold and, in the eyes of some, challenging. There was no evidence to suggest Dietrich was anyone other than the image the public knew. What made her the center of discussion was her proactive approach to shaping her own identity and style. Researchers and critics have long recognized her use of masculine-inspired fashion, her versatile demeanor, and her appeal that transcended traditional gender stereotypes, both on-screen and in real life. These choices were not random. They were part of her artistic philosophy. Dietrich didn't just exist in ambiguity. She transformed it into her own unique style, opening up diverse interpretations. To audiences, she could be an icon of sophistication, modernity, and boldness. But in a more conservative social context, she was also susceptible to speculation and various interpretations. Therefore, her image always existed with multiple layers of meaning, both admired and viewed from different angles. In Hollywood at that time, this always came with considerable risk. When censorship was still strict and gender boundaries were tightly bound, even artistic differences could be misinterpreted. Yet Dietrich didn't back down. She continued to refine her personal style, transforming ambiguity into both a protective shield and a unique source of appeal. That's why her legacy remains valuable today, not because of speculation, but because she proved that identity, fashion, and performance art can blend together, creating a lasting and pioneering influence. Thank you for watching. If you found this content meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel to continue supporting future videos. See you in the next video.